Ohio State preparations well underway for Nebraska. Hi, Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com as Nebraska wrapped up their full padded practice here on Tuesday. And talking to defensive coordinator Eric Shenander and several players, they know the challenge that's ahead of them.
Oh, I think that focus has been good. Coach Frost, he set the tone right away in the team meeting. There's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be a lot of media around, a lot of hype going around, but we need to focus on our job. I think the kids have done a good job so far.
We just got, like you said, we kind of just got to tune in a little bit more, be a little bit more focused this week just to the fact that we got a really great team coming in here to play us at home. So at the end of the day, we want to protect the house. So we got to put all our eggs in the basket, you know what I'm saying, just give it all we got this week and just try to get prepared and get good enough to try to win this game.
They're a good team, and I feel like we're confident coming into this game. I feel like it's going to be a great game.
The biggest challenge is they're a passing team. We really shut down a lot of passing teams this year, but this is going to be the biggest one because it's the best we played so far, and they throw a lot of deep balls, and it's up to us to cover the deep balls and let the linebackers cover the run.
And when it comes to slowing down this Ohio State Buckeye offense, it all starts and stops with new quarterback Justin Fields.
He's big, he's fast, he can throw it really good, and he's operating their offense right now. Probably the question mark with him was, can he come in and take command of that offense? And so far, he's done a pretty good job of doing that. So he's a really good football player, and he's going to be a good challenge for us.
We got to be who we are. We can't change who we are. Obviously, Justin Fields, he's a great athlete. He's very mobile. He's gotten out of potential sacks because he's so mobile, and he does a great job keeping his eyes downfield and throwing the football. And he's a really talented quarterback, and we face a quarterback similar to that every day in practice with Adrian Martinez and those type of guys. So we get good practice when we go ones-on-ones here. So we just got to do a great job of making sure we trap them as much as we can, So I'm looking forward to that challenge and see what happens with our guys.
Yeah, I seen a couple sacks and a couple pressures on him, but he's a great quarterback. I feel like he can do a lot.
You never know when somebody transfers for whatever the reason, but number one, it shows you that kid down in Georgia is a pretty good player because for the first few games this year, he's been outstanding for Ohio State. So can run it, can throw it. Doesn't turn the ball over. He's been really solid this year.
Yeah, I think Haskins also was a great quarterback. Can make any throw on the football field, but it's more stay in the pocket and want to stay in the pocket. Fields, I think, can do the same thing. He's just more, he can do it in the pocket, he can do it out of the pocket. Just holding on to coverage a little longer. It's the main focus. Guys got his plaster on routes, and if he got in the pocket, I got to mind your business a little bit. What I mean by that is keeping your eyes off the quarterback in the secondary, in the back, on coverage that you have to keep your eyes off.
At the end of the day, we got to make sure we plaster our routes down the field. He's a quarterback that can extend plays, and get out the pocket. So we got to make sure we just cover our guys to the whistle, all the way down the field. He'll chuck it down the field, 60 yards, 70 yards, it don't matter. We got to just cover, and let all our everybody in the box go hunt and try to get them down. So we just gonna do it like that.
Something else a lot of people talked about was just last year's game. Nebraska went into Columbus, lost by 5 points, and that's something that gave them a lot of confidence, knowing that they went into the fourth quarter with a chance to beat Ohio State in Columbus.
I think it was good for our guys to see that, if you prepare the right way, good results happen. Now, that being said, we still did a lot of things to hurt ourselves that game, too. And the biggest thing, when you play a good team is you can't beat yourself. You got to make good teams beat you. And that's one of the deals going in is we got to make sure we play our football and make sure that, Ohio State, if they get anything, they got to earn it.
We just stayed with the game plan. I think it just helped us just believe more in the system. I think that by the time that game came, you could start seeing the team chemistry changing, and you can see that game. We all just bought in and just started playing together. So I think it just made everybody just believe in the system even more.
So of all the 12 games you played a year ago, is it safe to say that one maybe impacted the culture as much as any?
It was a couple other games I felt that it's shifting, but definitely that was a big one.
Special teams, like every game, are going to be a big factor for Nebraska going forward, and we still don't have any real answers as to what's going on with the kicker situation, including the status of Barrett Pickering.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I'll be honest with you. It is what it is. It's a situation where some of your top kickers go down in early camp, and they're hurt throughout the first part of the season. And it's just like any other position. You've got to get the next man up and ready to go, and see if you can learn to do some things with those guys. And how do you have to adjust your units to be able to accommodate accommodate for those guys. It's just, it is what it is. There's nothing, you can't avoid it. It's part of the game. Injuries are just part of it, and you got to deal with it. And hopefully we'll be able to overcome some of the issues that we've had with that.
Last week at Illinois, kickoffs were a big problem as well for Nebraska, as they weren't getting the height on their kicks or the depth, and it led to some really good field position for the Illini.
His approach was off. It just wasn't very consistent. I thought the week before he had a really good approach to the football, and he seemed to be more in rhythm for whatever the reason. It just, it's his first time really kicking off. He's been strictly a punter his whole career, and you'd like to think that you can recruit guys that can do both, but the reality of it is with specialists that they've become more and more specialized, right? So now there's a punter, there's a kickoff guy, and there's a field goal guy, which is generally what a lot of people do, even across the Big Ten. As I went through and I researched who's doing field goals, who's doing punts, who's doing kickoffs. There are typically 3 different guys. And so what we're doing now is having to cross-train a couple of guys. Sometimes there's consistency issues when that happens. So for us, that's been a little bit of an issue.
And finally, yesterday, we did hear a lot about just how much extra goes into a week like this, managing all the hype of College game day and other things going on here in Lincoln. And once again, we talked about it with several different people on Tuesday.
Yeah, like Coach said, it's going to be a million distractions this week. It's a big game, it's a big week. So, it's going to come with it. Like you said, this is stuff this is how you expect college football to be, when you got Nebraska. This is the type of attention that we want, and so we got to just capitalize and protect our house.
It's exciting, but you can't be overwhelmed by it. You just got to go out there and play your game.
I think everybody around Nebraska knows it's a different week. I think one of the goals we have as coaches is to make this week the same for everybody else. It is a different week, but I've always believed you can't cheat the game. You have to prepare the same way every week. You don't just magically prepare harder and play better one week. Your habits carry over, and if you don't have good habits by now, you won't find them for Ohio State. So we're just trying to keep building on the habits that have already been put in place, and hopefully they just carry over.
I feel like, definitely. I feel like we're a more mature team. We understand that each game is important. Every game you step out there, especially here, we want to dominate. So I feel like everybody, we're attacking this the same way we attack every other team.
And in injury news, no surprises as Maurice Washington practiced in full pads. J.D. Spielman, who took several hard shots on Saturday, was also in full pads here for Nebraska. With the Huskers in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.